What if everything you have believed in turns out to be false? What if it was all a lie? What if your beliefs are wrong? My name is Sabrina Brightstar. Keep your hand in your skirt podcast. Today's podcast, we are going to do a deep dive into looking at who's right, who's wrong, how do you know, what do you do, and what would happen to your reality if everything you believed in turned out to be not real. How would that affect you? Before we get started, I'd like to invite you to like and subscribe. Also, check out my website at sabrinabrightstar.com. I have free gifts for you. Intuition is Calling is a free ebook for you, as well as other gifts at sabrinabrightstar.com. I wanted to invite this amazing being to the party today. This is a star jasmine vine that just joined our family this week, as well as Anne, who's been in our family for over a decade. She wanted to join the party today, or maybe better yet, I wanted her to join the party today. She has been just showing up really loud and clear and just providing a lot of comfort and support for me lately. So why do I want to talk about what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? I think it's fascinating to be able to look at different topics and to just ask yourself what would happen if you are wrong. Would that shatter your reality? Would that rock your world? Would you have regrets? Would you just be discombobulated? Or would you be are you able to hold space that you might be wrong? I am finding that so many people are holding so tight to their beliefs, political beliefs, food choice beliefs, climate control beliefs, religious beliefs, spiritual, people feel, to me, in my perception, people feel like they're holding on so tight to their beliefs and what they have decided is truth. Now, the reason I don't have a big point of view about beliefs is because I used to have such strong beliefs, I was prepared to die for my beliefs. And in fact, I almost did die for my beliefs. As you know, I used to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, they do not believe in blood transfusions. They believe blood transfusions are a sin against Jehovah. So I was in the hospital, I gave birth to my daughter, and I was bleeding out. The doctor couldn't get me to stop bleeding, and I was totally fine. I wasn't panicked. I wasn't afraid. My belief that Jehovah's, the rule that I believed in, no blood transfusion, my belief was so strong, was so anchored, was so embodied in my being. I would have been fine if I would have died. I would have chosen death. I would have chosen obedience to Jehovah. I would have chose obedience to my belief that Jehovah was right and death was the side effect. And someone asked me the other day, weren't you scared to death that your daughter would grow up without a mom? The thought didn't even occur to me. That's how powerful I thought what I was doing was right. So when we believe that our beliefs are right, we make a lot of choices. We make a lot of decisions. So I think it's important to self-reflect, like in most people's beliefs, they're not life or death, like a blood transfusion. But what if your beliefs, what's happening when we hold so tight to our beliefs? Okay, this is the other thing I want to share. I recently was reading a book from Daniel Steele. It's a fictional book, but it was about Hitler, at the time of Hitler. And the book was sharing the perspective of the Germans, who in the beginning, we have to remember, this is true part of, even though the book is fiction, but we know the truth of the history of Hitler is Hitler was voted into office. He was chosen by the people. The people at that time, from their perspective, thought he was the best choice. So this book is telling a fictional story of Germans, how in the beginning, when Hitler started making these rules and these changes, the Germans who were not Jewish, it didn't affect them. So they didn't really, like many of them, didn't really have a point of view of what was happening. It didn't affect them personally. But then in the book, things happen, things unfold as time went on. People would discover maybe through marriage that there was someone their child had married or they had married, that there was some type of Jewish lineage 2-3 sets back, maybe even only 5%, but all of a sudden then it affected their life. And the characters in the story who weren't that concerned about what Hitler was doing, all of a sudden found themselves in the concentration camps. So often our beliefs or other people's beliefs they don't matter, or we maybe don't worry because it's not affecting us personally. And I was listening to a Teal Swan podcast, and she was talking about when we stop listening, because everyone makes their choices because they're seeing something, they're believing something, they have access to some type of data, and in their awareness of what their data is or what they're seeing, they're making choices, they're making decisions on what they think is right. But what if we could sit down and talk to each other, and instead of saying, no, you're wrong, right? Like as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I was taught all religions are wrong. All religions are from the devil except for Jehovah's Witnesses. They were the only one true religion. So if I would talk to a Buddhist or a Catholic or a Pentecostal or a Hindu, I would have, my instant process was they're wrong. They're wrong, they're wrong, they're wrong. I'm right, they're wrong, I'm right, they're wrong. And you can't hear a single thing that's being said when you know you're right. Let's take this to the food industry, right? We know, I've seen different people that swear, and they have so much proof and evidence that our body needs animal products. So carnivorous community, they can give you so much proof and evidence why your body would benefit from animal products. The vegetarian or the vegan community, they could also give you so much proof and evidence why animal products are harmful to your body. So whatever you've decided to align and agree with, your reticular activating system, remember that part that we all have in our brain, that part in our brain wants to be congruent. It wants us to be right. So that part of each and every one of our brains is going to look for proof and evidence that we are right, we are right, we are right. So I'd like to invite you to maybe even challenge you. What if we didn't hold so tight on being right? What if we opened up, I wonder what else is here? I wonder what other data is here. I wonder what this other group sees or knows that I've never looked at or thought about or explored. And not because you need to change your point of view. That's not what the objective of today's conversation is. Today's conversation objective is just to bring in awareness that when we hold on so tight, we can miss and dismiss data that's sitting right in front of us. And if we can just loosen it up a little bit, we can just look at, would it shatter your world if you're wrong? Would that rock your world? And if it would rock your world that you're wrong, that's information for you. That can be either information about your pride. It can be information about your loyalty to your beliefs. It can just be information for you, and you can do what you want with it. I always say, try on a different outfit, right? Because beliefs are just like clothes. Try on a different outfit. If you don't like it, take it off. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to wear it every day, but you can just allow your thoughts to expand, to open up, just to consider some other possibilities. And then when your reticular activating system knows you're not anchored into, I am right, it can present, you can start to catch and notice other possibilities. So I just think this awareness can really help us in community. It can help us listen. It can help us have compassion. It can help us ask questions so we can get more information. We don't have to change, but we can listen. And if you know for sure you are right, you won't be able to hear another word. So I just think it's a fascinating idea to do some self-reflection. Would you like to improve your listening abilities? Would you like to expand what you're capable of receiving and realizing in your reality? It's always your choice. Thanks for listening.